Welcome back, and good morning. Good morning, and welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football's Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. And if you love college football, especially Oklahoma Sooner football, you're definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Welcome into the show, everybody. Benjamin Sisko, Sugoi, Brian Sandlin, and Jay Chapman. Welcome in, folks. Make sure you hit that like button as you come in. Check in with us as you get here. Let us know you're here in the chat. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the first day of SEC Media Days, Oklahoma's first SEC Media Days as members of the new league. What's up, everybody? Stephen G, what's up? Mars Jams, Hankster. Morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Collins, my man. How's it going, my man? Glad everybody's in here. Want to talk a little bit. We'll get into some different stuff, I guess, a little bit, but we'll start off with definitely want to talk a little bit about obviously media days and Oklahoma's first time in media days, kind of what you should probably expect from that. I know we talked about it a little bit last night on Jay's show, Unfair Sports with him and Coop. You know, I kind of got to thinking about this is a horns down shirt. Yes. How do you like that? Yes, it is. Already. Thank you for the super chat. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Neelio. Good morning to everybody else. It says good morning, Jason, and good morning, everyone. Hey, thanks a lot for coming in, checking everything out. Happy NCAA 25 day as well. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I don't know if you guys noticed that I said that earlier in the chat in Jay's show last week. Norman freaking broke my damn PlayStation, so I got to get a new one before I can get the game. But it's what it is. Oh, what? Forgot that I had an open window waiting for you. So you got the rooster crow and it freaked you right on out. I love it. What's up there, Mars? All right. That is kind of what you get. You know what I mean? It is kind of what you get for sure. I like it. That's awesome. Yeah, but freaking Norman tore up my PlayStation, so I got to get a new one. Those things are kind of expensive. I really don't want to spend like $500 or $600 on one, so I'm looking for a cheaper one. Yeah. Anybody has a night, you find one for a good deal, let the dude know, because I'll scoop it up. But I've been looking everywhere, man. There's some on eBay, but I don't trust the sellers. They don't have any. They're like $200, which that would be cool, but they're supposedly brand new at $200. I'm not buying it, especially when there's no reviews on any of these sellers and stuff that are doing it like that. It just seems like a scam to me. I don't know. Bought a new PS5 on OfferUp. Really? All right. I'll have to go check OfferUp. I haven't been on OfferUp in a while. But yeah, that's good. I love the fact that Arkansas, Louisiana State, Oklahoma, and Texas are finally in the same conference. Man, I do love that. I do love it. It'd be kind. I think I think it's going to be cool. Okay, yeah, I'll have to get in there and check it out. I've been kind of looking around and my son's still out in Vegas and stuff. And usually you can find some stuff out there but I hadn't really found anything. So he said he was going to look again today when he got back from Tahoe. Let's see. Yeah, Mars, he's a man. I'm ready. Chicken. What up, chicken? Microsoft is way better. The Xbox. I didn't really find any Xboxes that were a lot cheaper. It's not like I'm a PlayStation guy, and I already have a bunch of stuff, like in my PlayStation portal or whatever, games and stuff. So yeah. Drew, what's up, buddy? And Chaos Plays. Not spending another $500 for a console game. Yeah. Which is kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird that they won't let it. Well, did they ever let college football or like Madden? Can you play that on PC or anything? Huh. I've never done it. So I know a lot of people are PC gamers though. So yeah, that's cool. Cool. So getting ready to get in here and kind of check out some of the stuff we see from media days. We should probably talk a little bit about what you should expect. But I'll tell you something. The more I've kind of thought about it, and I watched a little bit of RJ's show last night. I actually don't watch RJ a ton, but I kind of thought one of the things that he was talking about a little bit towards the end of his show, he was saying that he took these guys because they're going to be the confident ones. I guess I kind of understood what he was saying, but I don't know that it's as much about confidence as it's about, I think, taking Danny Stutzman, obviously, and Billy Bowman. I mean, they're seniors. They're, that core group of kids that are still here. The rest of these guys are all brand new. There's nobody really left. Prime Day starts tomorrow. That's a good idea. Yeah. Anyway, I think that the fact that, first off, he took Jackson, and people are kind of wondering why he was talking about that him taking Jackson to media days was a signal that he believes in him or something like that. Well, I don't really know exactly what else. I mean, he better believe in him. You know what I mean? Because if you look at it, the guys that are left on this offense, really, it's a bunch of new. I mean, there's some guys that have been there. I guess you could have maybe taken somebody like Nick Six or something like that, But I do feel like it was something that you had to. I really think you kind of need to take your starting 5-star quarterback, because really he's the leader of that team, and this offense is going to go as he goes. I think that's clear. And you only get to take 3 guys, but I felt like it was, well, it's pretty obvious why he chose Bowman and Stutzman to me, because as 2 of the 3 players, having them as 2 of the 3 player contingent to accompany him, I think it showed that if OU is going to truly compete in year 1 and in the SEC, it will be because of those 2 guys, right? Both of them have a chance to become all SEC preseason players at the end of the media days. But it'll be because they have led the way. Really, if Oklahoma is able to compete like we expect them to, why is it going to be? We've talked about it a lot. It's going to be because those 2 guys, along with guys like Ethan Downs and Woody Washington, and some of the other guys that are coming back for a second season, Dasan McCullough, PJ Adebawari. We could go through the list, not to mention, obviously, Dominic Williams. That D line looks like it's ready to rock and roll, but it's going to take the leadership of Danny and Billy Bowman in order for them to really get to where they have to be. This is going to be that leadership. You think about when Big Mike Boganowski's been in here, right? And he's talked about having Michael just be a sponge when he's around Billy. And as we saw last year, when Danny went down, the linebacking core suffered. And we can say whatever you want to, but it suffered. That, Kip got really a lot better towards the end of the season, but the rest of it just kind of fell off. So the idea that, you would hope that those guys are, they've taken the next step. A lot of those guys, Kip and Kobe McKenzie, obviously Samuel Omosigo and those guys, but you need Danny there, whether it's at middle linebacker or outside backer, but he needs to be out there on the field. And same with Billy. I would say that Ethan Downs, as I was saying last night, I was saying it half jokingly, but man, he stepped it up last year in big situations often. But I really feel like taking those 2 guys signified that Oklahoma's going to win with defense. They're going to win with defense. And in order for them to get where we hope that they're going to go, they have to be one of the better defenses in the SEC. Not for nothing, they're going to go up against the best offenses in the SEC. All of them. Except for Georgia, I guess. Unless you meet them at the end of the year. Right? I would say that, now, of course, offensively, they're going to do. Look, I've said this a bunch of times. I don't know. Everybody else seems to be concerned with the quote rebuilt offensive line, and it is rebuilt to some extent. It also has some guys on it that are underclassmen that are showing a lot of promise from everything we hear. And again, it's run by Bill Bedenbaugh. I don't concern myself with that, but you need to have Jackson definitely be that guy this year because this offense will go as he goes. Now, again, as I said, if that defense is what we think it is, and I spoke to Adam McClintock last week, and I've got a video coming out. Actually, I'm going to do a couple of videos because it ran a little bit long. One more on the side of the Big Ten, one more of the SEC. But when I was talking to him last week, I was asking him, and of course, Adam McClintock is the co-founder of Matrix Analytical. He's the CFB professor, which they have the most accurate metrics game projection model in college football. And he told me that not only was Venables considered the best defensive coordinator in the country by the time he, left Clemson, they do expect not only that, but they have already pegged Zach Alley as one of college football's brightest young coordinators in all of the FBS because they've been able to do that. Their company actually consults for, I think, 17 different programs in the country. Every major conference, numerous teams in the SEC use their analytics to help get their coaches better, identify places of weakness, things like that. They're able to kind of do a lot of kind of stuff like that. And they've, there's a couple of cool things. First, as we've talked about in the past, I would just kind of throw in that he has, overall as a head coach, he has Sark as middling at best. So just going by their rankings and their ratings and what they do. Now, he said that, Venables hasn't exactly proven himself as a great head coach yet, but he does believe that he's headed in the right direction. Their system really liked the way he bounced back last year. But, until you get 2, 3, 4 years of, data on what you're doing, it's going to be tough. He did say he liked Zach Alley a lot. He said that he felt like he was probably one of the better hires in the country, period. For, particularly for a coordinator position, right? I do believe that they use their in-game coaching metrics. They actually compile it with data taken from every play run in the FBS, every play. So it all goes into it. They know what happens in every play, and they can judge even like position coaches and all that stuff on how they're coaching. You can identify if somebody's maybe a better recruiter than they are an on-field guy, and vice versa, which now with the coaching restrictions kind of taken off, that may actually work for some of the bigger programs like Oklahoma, where you can have guys that are quote unquote analysts or whatever, but they do better at on the field coaching than some of these other guys that are really good recruiters. So it's going to help a lot in that area as well. In any event, they had him going. I think we kind of all expect, BV's never going to have his hands completely out of the defense. I mean, I want to see him do better as a CEO, but you're never going to get him all the way out. Stink Ass Cat, what's up, my man? Good to see you in here. Let's see. Preach. Yep. The DE opposite downs can't be invisible. No, I don't think you're going to see that. I think you've got a number of guys that have the ability to step in. Trace Ford, this is his last year. He improved. He was looking better towards the end of last year. That's veteran presence, but obviously you got PJ Adebawari there. I think that we talked about it a little bit last night. Nigel Smith is going to be one of those guys that's going to be able to move inside or out. He's up to 267. That seems to be the weight he kind of wanted to be at anyway. But man, his athleticism is going to allow him to do a lot of things. I expect that he's going to get some time. Danny Okoye, man, how are you going to keep that kid off the field? He's explosive, and fast. He's just a stud. And then obviously you got Caden Willard. I mean, this guy at Miami of Ohio last year, he had like 12 sacks. I mean, you're going to find some places for them to do some of that stuff. I just really feel like you will, And then Dasan McCullough. Yeah, I think Dasan McCullough is more of a natural edge guy anyway, outside linebacker / edge, depending on what set you're in and stuff like that. But man, I just go back to that goal line stand for Oklahoma there. And you think about it, he was on every tackle. He was in the backfield at the snap, making every play. All the way down to the one where they threw it, and then Billy made that play on the edge. So I really think that, Dasan he's a dog, straight up dog. And if he can stay healthy, and that's the beauty of it, is now that you have depth, and this is what it all came down to. But what I was getting at is I believe that they took this contingent down here. You're not going to hear them talking a bunch of crap and I don't know that. I think they could acknowledge it. And when it comes to Danny, he doesn't really pull punches, and he doesn't mind saying what's on his mind either. So I could kind of see him hearing one too many questions about, how hard it's going to be in the SEC, and saying, look, man, we're ready for the SEC. We're built for the SEC. And that's cool. Look, I think you do have to, like RJ was saying, you do have to kind of come in there and show that confidence. Look, you've heard Coach Venables say it a bunch. The standard is the standard, man. The standard is the standard, and it's to go win. That's the funny thing. It's the thing that makes me laugh about all these crazy commenters that either come in here or, either coming in the live streams, or they'll be in the comment section after videos and stuff, and they'll be saying a bunch of crap about how OU's not going to be able to hold up. There was a guy on Twitter the other day saying, just a Tennessee guy talking 6-6, 6-6. How is it that you think you won't go 6-6? I was like, I'm not going to freaking go into this with you, dude. I don't care what you think. I'm not going to sit here and type that crap. Go do your own homework. But I think that Tennessee's dangerous. Yeah, of course. I think that they have one of the probably the best defensive player in the country, but their secondary's, not great. It can be had, and if they don't kill it on that D line against your offensive line, it could be a long day for them, right? Is Numbnuts here? Oh, goody. Dude, Texas ain't ready for the SEC. We just talked about it. The metrics say on all these metrics, the coaching ranking metrics, that Sark's just half-assed. And we say that all the time. It's not like I really needed the metric to know that. But let's see what else you guys say in here. You're what? Testing it? Testing it how? What are you talking about? Don't be crazy. Zach, you better be glad somebody married you, man. Caden Willard, love it. Yeah, look. I believe that they're good to go on that. When you start looking at it from level to level, they've got enough guys to sub in and out. Stoney and Jackson, Okoye could redshirt. He may not. You never know what's going to happen, and you have to have depth there. But I think they're going to find out some things about some of these kids early on, because the truth is that we've talked about, and you can't have high expectations for freshmen. I get that. But we're not Brent Venables and company. They don't just recruit normal freshmen. You know what I mean? They don't. They're going after these guys. You start thinking about guys like even Taylor Wine, though. We were talking about him. He put on some weight, and he looks like that dude. What's the kid's name that was also at IMG? Man, why am I going on his name? Yeah, what did y'all do when you got to that playoff? Gagged all over yourself like normals? Like normal? Any other time you play a big game? Like when you played Oklahoma? That's what Sark does. Just gags. 10-win season. One time that he's been over 10 wins, and you guys are acting like he's won multiple natties. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You guys are gonna. It's hilarious. You couldn't beat us with the better team that you had last year. So what are we talking about, man? What are we even talking about? The video game. Yeah, the video game. Let's see. Edge is loaded. I mean, there's a lot of guys that can step up, and I think you could end up needing to, redshirt somebody. But there's a lot of guys, man, that can kind of step in there and do their thing. Look, dude, we don't have the same coaching staff here anymore. We don't. And had Lincoln not been kind of Sarkish in the Rose Bowl, which I was sitting in the Rose Bowl watching it, we should have won that game by freaking going away. Should have won that game going away. That was the one team that they had that could have won the Natty. You just watched Texas with the clearest path to a national championship puke all over themselves in the freaking Sugar Bowl last year. And look what happened to Washington in the next week. Michigan lined up and ran over their ass. Just like they're probably going to do you guys in week 2. Yeah. So I want to say it's pretty close to that. The metric that he does for the summer deal. Let's see the summer metric he has here real quick. So Oklahoma is like, he's got Oklahoma, and I don't want to give it all away, but he's got them going 9-3. I've already told you guys that. But their ceiling is 12-0. Texas's ceiling isn't 12-0. He doesn't have them winning against Georgia no matter what. And the metrics or the model doesn't, period. Their floor, but they also, he said that he thinks that their floor. See, and even these guys don't always agree with the models, So, but Texas is definitely projected to go up there and have an opportunity to do it. But like we said, man, I'll believe that shit when I see it. Now, Oklahoma their ceiling is 12-0. But they're in 6 toss-up games, according to the metrics, but I think you have to look at it. A lot of these guys, that's depending on. I was watching a little bit of Andy Staples a little bit earlier, and he was talking about how Ole Miss's offense is just so deadly and everything. And I get it. I mean, that's what he does pretty well. I would say the same thing is the truth when it comes to Ole Miss, though. If they're going to go very far, they have to be better on defense. And I don't know that just because they brought in a bunch of guys means that they're going to do that. And I know Texas isn't going to be better on defense. They're going to be worse. And they weren't good in the secondary last year. Dude, you're not getting your point across with the all caps. It just bugs me. It makes me want to put you in timeout. But you're right. It's the narrative won't change it. No, and that's fine. That's fine. But you already know. Dude, he got us to the playoffs in a crappy freaking Big 12 that, I mean, you guys weren't winning in it, but it was the worst time for the Big 12. Think about it. All the freaking defections. All the defections. And then, I mean, when Okie Light is one of the better teams and Baylor, sorry, but come on, man. I think that Matt Rule's a hell of a coach. There ain't no way that Baylor should ever stay on the field with you. And they got smaller and smaller every year because of the strength and conditioning. This is not the same football team. They just lined up and punched you guys in the mouth last year. You couldn't even get a yard in 4 plays. What are we talking about? Bro, come on. Yeah, the Alex Grinch defense. Yeah, that was part of it. That was another big part of it. Sark will adjust to the SEC and get right back to being 7-1. Sark. Yeah, he's not gonna. They're gonna go 8-4. Texas is gonna go 8-4. I think that's their. It would not surprise me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the same, and that's the whole thing. All these other SEC. I mean, it's one thing that Texas does that they're a bunch of trolls, you know. But when I stop really paying attention to content creators that are around the SEC, and even the guys that are supposedly, Barrett Saleeds of the world. I mean, really, dude, you're on SiriusXM. You were with CBS until just recently. You've been around the SEC for the better part of 20 years. And you don't know that the most fertile recruiting ground in America is 100 freaking miles from Norman. And they own North Texas. They own it. Might as well call it Oklahoma South. Because they get the guys from there. Bottom line, come on, dude. J-Day, here you go. I hope you guys at least freaking hit the like button on your way in, since you're going to run your mouth the whole time you're in here. Yeah, Norm. Fucker. He tore up my PlayStation, bro. Yeah, please do that. Yeah, if you don't quit with the all caps, we're going to get them out. Get them out. Put them on there. Let's see. Texas sucks, horns down. Yeah.
The brand has finally returned. F*** your brand.
There you go. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can put them in timeout for it. Thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate that. I don't hate you. I just think that you need to at least have something that's like worth saying. You can regurgitate the same Lincoln Riley bullshit, but he's not even at Oklahoma anymore. Oklahoma's already beating you with its next coach. What do you got? Have something else. I don't know, man. So many people become Texas fanboys. Yeah. See, you ain't wrong. Where were these guys the last few years, And most Texas fans, even like Dez, I mean, he says what he says and likes to talk a little trash, and I don't mind it. And I don't mind the trash talking. You can talk trash. It's what this is about. But yeah. Yeah, he's never going to bring you some facts. Never. Yeah, go ahead. You can put him in timeout if you need to, if he keeps on with the all cap stuff, because it does bother me too. You have to get players from Texas. Well, you know what? It's too bad you can't do anything about it. That's a stupid one too. You don't just, you can't get Texas players. So, I mean, somebody has to get them and win with them. Just like the King used to say. What's up there, Jimmy Lee? Blabbing, yeah, dude, it's annoying, right? Bishop Frank, my man. Benji's the best Texas guy. Where is Benji? He's not in here, huh? Or is he? Satterfield, welcome into the show. Did y'all get him? That's funny. You just put him in timeout. You didn't block him, did you? I don't even know if you guys can block or anything. But you just put him in timeout. You can keep doing it. Hankster used to be kind of quick on the trigger, but he doesn't really do it anymore. Where are you at, Hankster? There you are. Texas fans never heard that pop in their heads. Come on. Yeah. Okay. 1 minute timeout. That's cool. That'll work. No, it isn't. Dude, Benji doesn't even act like that. You're trying, but that's funny. Yeah. Anyway. Again, I would tell you that I would expect that these guys, and you start thinking about Jada Coleman, obviously Billy's fiance, and that freaking softball team is completely unapologetic about the way they, believe in themselves and each other and celebrate their victories and what, when they do good stuff. But I would tell you that a lot of that comes from, and a lot of that stuff rubs off back and forth across programs it's weird how you see one program will start winning and then another one will do the same thing because it's just contagious, It's just, unless you're at Texas, they win a bunch of swimming trophies and shit, but that's about it. But when it comes to a lot of this stuff, and the standard is the standard. That's just it. And they know that. And so I would venture to tell you that, particularly with Danny, these guys start throwing all that stuff about how hard it is and how they're not going to get sick of hearing it at some point. And they'll be like, look, we're going to come in and be in every game. And, they're not going to come in and probably say anything like we're going to dominate in this league. And they shouldn't say that. But do take in every bit of disrespect you feel like you get. And don't think for 1 second that these kids inside the Switzer Center ain't hearing it. I mean, you've seen it on the Red Dirt show with Nick Six and oh, why do I always forget that kid's name? And it's the tight end. Man, I love that show too. It's awesome. But they talk about it all the time. Yeah. Yep. The phone line. Who's Eddie Black? He was talking to callers earlier. Who was? I wasn't. I don't think that I didn't say that their ceiling was. That's the metrics that said that the ceiling would be 12-0. Their ceiling's 12-0 because they're in a bunch of toss-up games. According to the metrics, they got 6 toss-up games. I don't know that I think it's 6. I think some of those, like I said, I don't believe in Missouri at all. You guys know that. I don't really see that as a toss-up game. I think that when they're playing an easy SEC schedule, there's no doubt about that. And so they're probably going to have 8 or 9 wins, more than likely. But how confident are you really that they're going to beat Arkansas and Bobby Petrino with the new quarterback, new deal that they got to deal with? I'm not. I don't think that they beat A&M, especially on the road. I don't see that happening. They're not beating Alabama. There's no way they're going on the road and beating Alabama. And they're not beating Oklahoma either. So that's at least 3 losses and probably 4. Would that surprise you if they lost 4 or 5? No. Even with that crappy schedule. When it comes to Ole Miss, I think Ole Miss is pretty good, and I like Lane Kiffin. But you still got to go and do it. And being a heavy portal team, I don't know, man. It just, that mercenary feel that you get whenever you're that heavy in the portal. I think it's kind of is what it is. It doesn't always work. It hadn't worked out yet. Yeah, that was bullshit, wasn't it, Benjamin? Welcome into the show, by the way. Hey, Timothy Green, my dude. 39 days is over. College football starts. You guys got a week 0 game? All right. That's awesome. I don't know who Eddie Black is. He's new here. Yeah. Who you're talking, Mizzou? Yeah, fake SEC school. Well. Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot. Well, and that's what I said this last week, and I meant it when I said this. Is you could tell that that's exactly what Teddy was saying. It's like, man, quit acting like only Oklahoma and even Texas are. We just got to get ready for the SEC. We're not ready for the SEC. You know what? You're not. You may not be ready for Oklahoma. I mean, you have to adjust to what Oklahoma is and the way that they're going to get up for games. Because don't think for a second that, look, kids have a tendency of looking past teams that they don't respect. No doubt about it. Sometimes you need a way to fire them up and stuff. And I think that obviously that there's a lot of incentive here for not just because you want to go in and win this conference and you're looking for a national championship, but there's a lot of incentive to shut some people up. And not even just these clown fans, real supposed journalists and, respected people around college football that are talking stupid shit like Barrett Sallee. I still can't believe that guy. I mean, dude, you probably have all kinds of freaking guys looking up shit for you, and you don't even get it right. What it really amounts to is that they just want to do stuff for clickbait. And man, I'm going to pick at people that I like to pick at, but I'm going to make, real educated, guesses or opinions anyway. There's going to be something behind it. You're not going to always get everything right. Sometimes you're going to miss. It is what it is. But at least if what's up there, Benji? Bama at Oklahoma, Auburn at Auburn. Yeah. Man, let's see. If you're going to get Bama, this would be the year to get them, especially when they just got a freaking another 5-star. Holy shit, man. They're killing. They've already jumped to number 2 or number 1 on 3. They're killing it, man. Bama's getting it done. They've been talking good about you over here, Benji, because the other Texas fans are clowns. Yeah. Georgia. Oh yeah, Florida State and Georgia Tech playing overseas. That's right. In week 0. Yeah. I'll throw it out there for you.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Yeah, but Chicken, I would say this, and I think you would too. The fan engagement needs to be better at the games with the SEC coming. No doubt. Particularly like, man, that Tennessee game, you don't want Nico to be able to hear shit. Nothing. I think they're going to get Fasusi, but I'm not really the recruiting guy, man. But from everything, the guys that I believe and trust are saying he's coming to Oklahoma. I'm not going to chase those guys around like that, but he's talking to these Coop and PG. They both, that's what they believe. And I know that the PG talks to him all the time. I think that's I think that's one of the games that I've said, if they're going to go 9-3, that would probably be one of those games that you lose. Although it is in the morning time, so I think it's less conducive for like haunted shit going on, right? And I don't know what I believe in. I mean, Peyton Thorne was trash last year, and you can blame it on the play caller if you want, but I don't think the quarterback was that good. Now, that is it Cam Ward? Is that kid from Alabama, that receiver, that stud? Oof. If he's that guy, you never know, man. They could, and that you can dial it up, man. He's a good play caller. But I don't know. If Bama loses more than normal this year, the shine comes up. Well, what 9-3? Do you see them going worse than 9-3? Because I don't. I think that, look, think about this. You got to think about this much. First off, they've got a better offensive coach. From everything we're hearing, Kane Womack is a hell of a defensive coordinator. He's got to be better than the guy they had. Well, I think everybody seems to think he's better than Pete Golding. And they're recruiting very well. They still have a ton of talent in the room, Sooner Cowboys. That's the thing. They still have a ton of talent in the room. I've told you guys this a bunch. I'm not the dude that's predicting their downfall. I'm not. Yeah. What is this? You have to get Texas players. Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody has to get them. You can't. Freaking, they're running off to Oregon. You guys are talking about NIL shit. Texas talking about not being able to outpay the Nike school. Look, let's not be stupid and act like freaking oil doesn't make more money than Nike's, bro. Because it does by a lot. There is no reason that you should be missing out on those guys, except for the fact that they are not. You don't have the guys that recruit that well. Even PK isn't a big recruiter when it comes to that kind of stuff. Losing Bo Davis might have been the biggest problem for Texas. That might have been the biggest loss. I hope so too. Yeah, that'll be better because you can get have everybody a little lubed up when they get there. That's good. Well, yeah, I know. My thing is, one of the last times I was there, you had people, and it was pretty early in the game that were like telling people to sit down. On a drive, they're going down to get ready to score and stuff. And it's like, man, it's freaking early. What are you talking about? This is when they need us right now. But I don't know, man. And you hear a lot of that stuff. Now, the student section needs to be part of it too. But I think the 11:30 games will help with that part too, because you're not getting the sun beating the crap out of you, every freaking week. Sitting there, OU takes back seats. Nobody, that's correct. Susie's a must get for OU and UT right now. But man, seeing Oregon all of a sudden get in his top 4. Well, look. It's not just, he needs to go and see the places that he needs to go and see. And that way you get it out of your system. And that's fine. Because to me, he's not really a must get for Oklahoma. I know that we want him. And I'm not bad-mouthing Michael Fasusi. I would be super excited if he goes. But the guys that they've already got, offensive tackles too. Ryan Foji, bad dude, man. He should be a 5-star. He's the same size as Michael Fasusi. Same size. Same skills. He's just not a camp guy. But he's been shooting up the charts. So we'll see. And I mean, in the end, you guys know I don't really give a shit about stars. If I see, but you saw him go from the 400 range to in the top 100 already. He has another big season. He can move up quick. In the end, it doesn't really matter. They've already got him locked in. Hey, I think that The kid from Utah was big too. Big. They're getting the guys they need. Yeah, and I think this is what I was saying. I think that the Bama offense will be better. And that's, look, the one thing that you got to kind of worry about if you're Bama is with Kalen DeBoer's offense is kind of predicated on the pass. Now, do I think that he's able to probably scheme it up for them to run the ball a little bit more, especially with Milroe? Yeah, I would think so. But I still feel like if they're going to be a contender to win the whole thing, then I think you have to be at least at like 65% completion. And I don't know that Jalen Milroe's that guy. I don't know that he isn't, but I don't know that he is. In the end, it's not the only quarterback they have in the place either. But yeah, again, I'm not predicting the demise yet. Hey, thank you, man. Gifted another one. Who'd you get it for? Who got it? Yeah, that's probably true. Hey, there you go, Timothy Green. Looky there. Got a membership. That's awesome. Kenny Baker. We got something reverse for quarterbacks. Reserve for quarterbacks. That's going to be, hectic. Yeah, man. Well, I think, it's going to come together so fast that, I think you'll kind of have to wait and see how it works out. But you get some of these cold weather spots, man, that's going to be a tough play. Like, hey, if Notre Dame, and that number 5 spot is kind of meant for Notre Dame. That's what they worked on. They worked that out, Swerbick and all them. So that if they go 11-1, they're going to get that 5 spot, unless you had a bunch of undefeated teams, which I doubt you will. But you end up with, them at 11-1, they're going to get that home game, and it's going to be freaking cold in South Bend in early January. So fucking cold, and dealing with touchdown DJs. Of course, they'll probably get that would be the 12 seed anyway, so they should win that easy. Who is this? What is this guy talking about? Yeah, no, Benji, that's what I was saying. I think that losing Bo Davis was the biggest mistake that Sark made. It's not about the guys that went to the draft. Good for them. You can't, once particularly when you have that many guys that were first, second, third round grades, you're going to lose them. When you got to strike when the iron's hot. So it's, to me, I would think that was part of it. Losing Sweat and Murphy is a big deal, but they should have paid up whatever Bo wanted, whatever he wanted, because he turned 2 3-star guys into first and second round picks on the D line. Maybe this guy from the Dolphins is good at developing, but he hadn't recruited anything yet. He's missed on everybody. Midzu, who cares? They've got another offensive tackle, bro. Have you not been paying attention? See, this goes to show you guys don't pay attention as much as you act like you do. Let's see. Let's see. They've got. All right, one here. Foji's a big deal, and he keeps moving up too. But you've got Afalava, they're showing him as a guard, but he's played tackle too, you know. And we still have Jacob Sexton has the ability to play that, and he's still a redshirt sophomore at this point? You know, it is what it is. I don't think that. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that we don't want him, and you know, they're still out there after. Man, why am I brain farting on all these damn names today? The kid isn't he from like Nebraska or Kansas or something like that? They have been doing really well recruiting wise. And listen, this is what they do. Last year they got 5 blue chip D line guys, and that's what they needed then. They're going to get the guys they need. And look, that was what I would say is like, as much as I think Kyle Flood is a better recruiter than he is a coach, I don't think he's a bad coach, right? I think he's a good one, but he's not Bill Bedenbaugh. He's not. And at this point, you've got that many guys in the league that are not just in the league, starting in the league, stars in the league at their positions. I mean, look at Lane Johnson. He was a freaking quarterback when he went and found him. A quarterback. He's been playing in the NFL for what, 15 freaking years now? Unreal. 12, a while anyway. And then look at, I mean, dude, Tyler Guyton was a bench guy from the D line, and in 2 years, he's a first-round pick. Yeah. If you don't come to Oklahoma for offensive line, you better be going to, Georgia or Bama, because Michigan, if you're wanting to go to the league, I don't know, man. I'm just saying. Another one. Who got the other one? Jimmy Lee. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Yep, for sure. Can't miss that one, man. It's not too often that you get Bama in your own stadium. Sheila Smith. There we go. What's up, Sheila? Good to see you in here. You see, who else have I missed out on? Again, I think it boils down to Venables says it a bunch too. Look, they do everything with intent. They're not casting a big old net out in the middle of the ocean just to see what they come up with. They want guys that fit the culture that they're trying to build. And I'll say it again, money and flash is not what does it. I understand that you have to play the NIL game, and you better play the NIL game, and they're doing that. In fact, they're ahead of the game when it comes to all this NIL stuff, and they went and got, the guys from the Eagles to, come in, be the general manager and run the money side of things so that Venables doesn't have to. I mean, and, you're going to end up probably with some kind of salary cap or whatever. This is something that they are doing the things that you have to do. But that just tells you, though, still the most important thing, and I said this the other day on that USC show, and they were talking about Oregon, about it's all about money. Like USC doesn't have freaking money. Like they can't pay players. Get the hell out of here. They're paying Lincoln Riley $100 million, and we'll pay him no matter what. They'll have to pay him. And you're not going to pay up for the players? I don't buy that shit for a second. Not even a little bit. What Lincoln struggles to do is build relationships with look at how he was when he was at Oklahoma. You didn't lock down OU. You didn't lock down the state of Oklahoma. It is on lock, completely on lock when it comes Oklahoma. The best players from Oklahoma are going to OU, not Okie Light, much as they hate to say. And look, that's the reason that Okie Light got good, as good as they were, was because all those Oklahoma kids were playing for Oklahoma State because he wasn't recruiting them. And he's doing the same thing there in California. And so that's what I was saying then. It's all about, it is about building relationships. And that is what this coaching staff does better than anybody else to me. Right up there with your Kirby Smarts and these guys that are getting it done year after. And I think Kalen DeBoer is proving that dude gets that stuff done too. They don't try to do everything the same way that Nick Saban was doing it. He would never have those big parties with 200, 300 kids that they're scouting to come. He wouldn't do stuff like that. He didn't like having more than 3 or 4 guys at a time ever. So to me, that's, yeah. Why? Oh, his son's playing there. Yeah, I get it. But, well, money was enough to get him out of there. They made him the highest paid assistant coach in the country. The highest paid assistant in the country. So there was to me, why is his son going to LSU instead of coming to play for you? Yeah, I think he is going to play guard, Zach. You're right. Afalava? Probably so. No, they're definitely pushing hard for him. There's no two ways around it. Man, you're just dumping them out there, Bishop Frank. You're the man. You don't. Again, I would tell you that I don't. Well, number one, offensive lineman is the one that they get wrong on scouting more than anything else. More than anything else. That and linebacker. When it comes to 5 stars, the percentage of 5 stars that turn out to be even NFL players at all is lower than every other position. And then it's linebacker behind that ever end up in the NFL. I don't care whether he's recruiting 5 stars or not. I just got to tell you, I don't give a shit. I'll do the coach thing. I don't give a shit about that. I'd love to see him get more 5-star guys, but I don't know why anybody has a look first. And again, I would look, some of these kids are only not ranked higher. They might stay at a 3-star because they never go to a camp. But I trust Bill Bedenbaugh's his ability to identify the talent and get them and turn it into something. As I said, Lane Johnson was a freaking quarterback at JUCO, and he brings him and turns him into a decade-long plus offensive starting lineman that's won a Super Bowl. Look at all the other guys that are out there that have played for him. I mean, what are we talking about? Look, he's got 11 starting offensive tackles in the league right now. 11. That's just tackles. I don't give a crap what they're ranked when they get here. Hell, Trent Williams was a 3-star. Can't give him to Big Bill, but he was a 3-star. I don't know why anybody wouldn't go though. And I think that from what I could tell, the last time I was watching something where PG was talking to Fasusi, he flat asked him, he goes, do you guys think and talk about what BB is and all those guys that are in the NFL and the development that you get when you come here? And he was like, yeah, man, it's been on my mind a lot more all the time. Welcome in, Sheila. What's up with you? You can comment as much as you want, my man. Anytime. I don't know why I'm trying to do. Oh, Davis, who? What about him? Hey, man, Bishop Frank's our guy, man. Appreciate him so much all the time. Whoops, walked into the wrong room. Sure did. There's other Texas fans in here, but whatever. I'll give you one.
The brand has finally returned. F*** your brand.
Creed was a 3-star too. Yeah. Yeah, man. Again, I don't care. You have to look at offers a lot more than you look at anything else. You really do have to. You know, you have to look at their offers because a lot of these guys, again, if you're not one of those guys that's at a camp every weekend and getting looked at by these guys, and that costs a lot of money, so not everybody can afford that. Like EPO, his brother's in the NFL. He didn't go to a bunch of camps. He's not a 5-star. He could have been a 5-star. He was top 100 guy. Another stud. Man, they're not light on talent in the offensive line room. And as we saw, out of the 17 guys that they have that I saw on the roster, all but one of them is over 300 pounds now, which is another thing that is huge about Lincoln being out of here. This is yeah, absolutely. The mountain of founding fathers. You damn right. He's the man. Yeah, get into that. Yeah, definitely. Jump in there, get into the Discord. I'm going to make sure I got my my notifications up louder so I'll be on there more. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, look, and like I said, well, look, Tyler Guyton didn't even play when he was at TCU, man. He was a bench guy, defensive lineman, wasn't playing at all. 2 years, he goes in the first round. And at the end of the year, Big Sexy was playing in his place. I think he was a little dinged up, but they weren't, Anyway, it is what it is. They're putting guys in there. T-Bow, yeah. I don't know that he's in the picture that. And Benji, man, you're going to make it all about, again, this is where I think that Texas is missing is because they're missing on this relationship stuff, man. Too many freaking Lamborghinis out in the parking lot and not enough real talk. Man, as soon as I get a new game system, that big dopey dog of mine freaking tore mine up. Last week, as a matter of fact. So as soon as I get a game system, I'd already bought it or had it, on reserved to get. I can't wait, man. This is my favorite game. I haven't really played much PlayStation since then. I had one from, they started talking about it a couple years back that it was going to be coming back. And so we've been waiting on it. I'd found a good deal on one in Vegas. But then stupid dog, damn dog. Not just that, he tore up the freaking console itself. I mean, bit through the damn thing. Big head, dumb dog. Oh. And he'll look at you like, what the fuck? So what? You guys. I always think of him like Sloth. Well, we'll see. When's that going to happen? What's up there, Sooner D? Bro, yeah, I've got it right in front of me so get this. Last night, I'm sitting there getting ready to go to sleep, and I knew I needed to put his ass in the kennel. I knew it. I'm laying there kind of kicking back and watching something on YouTube, and I look over and I thought he just had his big ass 5-pound bone. Yeah. And no, he's chewing an extension cord that I got my phone plugged into. Chewing it. It was shocking him. He had it cut already. It was shocking him, and he kept doing it anyways. He's the dumbest dude ever. I was like, you just punished yourself? I didn't have to do it. I guess he's not. He's not a fan of any. You know what else he likes to chew up? My fucking shoes. I don't have an NIL deal with Nike. That bastard. He's not no, he's just a pain in the ass puppy. He's just a pain in the ass, hard-headed ass bulldog. He ain't anxiety. He don't give a shit. Dude don't give a shit. You can get on his ass and he just looks at you like, and yeah, I would. I know when I don't. I don't like to even yell at him. It bothers me when I have to yell at his ass too much. But he's hard headed, bro. He's so heavy. He's a big dude, man. He's 130 pounds. It's a lot to handle sometimes. It's a lot to handle. Yup. Hey, well, when they come out ahead in the recruiting rankings, they usually do. And, they give them the benefit of the doubt on some of those guys too. But what does that ever matter? Did it? Do we have video? I'd love to see this. Yeah, I mean, hey, I took the other day, I had the newspaper and I freaking popped him with it just because it makes a loud noise. And he looked at me like, and he took it away from me because he thought I was playing around and he took it so he could chew it up. I had to go grab it from him, but he didn't want to let go of it. He's a strong dude, man. Yeah. That's hilarious. Newfoundland. Oh, big dogs are just different. Hey man, they're hard, man. It's hard. So the one that got killed last year, 2 years ago almost now. She was a bully, but she was little. Just she was like 45, 50 pounds maybe, but she was a sweetheart. I mean, they're lovable and she was a little hard-headed, but that's the other thing is male dogs with men are a little different, than they are with women. And like my Missy, she was amazing. She was a great dog. She listened. I mean, and like when I was doing the podcast, whenever I just started the podcast, she would sit next to the desk and never move, She wouldn't move. She just kind of wait. Did you say get him a cat? I don't want to see all that. He's been sticking his face in this stray cat outside, and it worries me. He's got all his shots and everything, but I don't know why we're here talking about Norman so much, but there's this big dude, and he's a big ass cat too. You can tell he's meaner and shit, and he's not scared of Norman at all. And he'll stick his face down there, and that cat almost hooked his nose the other night. I pulled him back on his choke chain and stuff. He finally, and I was like, bro, you're gonna get your ass. He's gonna tear you up. I bet you it's a high percentage, bro. Yeah. I bet you it's over 65%. I bet it's higher than that. I'm subbing Arch for Quinn immediately, Benji says. I knew it. I think it's higher than that. I think it's probably more like 85, 90. They may not admit it. I think that Quinn's going to end up getting freaking. He's going to get. Poor Quinn, man. Dude's going to give that dude a complex over the damn NCAA game. Oh, really? Let's see it. All right. I'm going to go look. No, you did this. I love it. My man. Well, we got to post that, bro. Is it just a picture? You didn't have any sound of him talking shit? I love it. That's awesome. don't know why it always does that, where I have to like rename it. There we go. Present it. So you made him rage quit. You were busting his ass up. I love it. Oh, dude. Congratulations, Stephen G. You're a rage quitter already. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. Hey, man, I love it. An NIL deal from Xanax. That was a good one, Chicken. Maybe the it wasn't you. It was just you were watching. Yeah, he might be. Hey, man, I think that that's the other thing that makes me laugh about these Texas fans is that everybody talks about how Michigan's got all they had 2 extra guys than Texas go to the NFL into the draft, 13 to 11. Texas just reloading. Michigan's going to be shitty according to everybody. Come on, make it make sense. Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did too. Plus, he got more money out of it. He just wasn't going to do it for $500. But they were Mannings. They know how to make that money in commercials and shit like that. They knew what they were doing there. So they're already up there doing it. I wonder if we need to find somebody to do it with. What's up there, Cowpoke? No, and I don't know that I don't buy any of that crap anyway. I'm not hearing that from anywhere except for look. I think I mean I can understand the Big 12 is really trying to do that. I don't see it happening really. Why would they leave the ACC to come to the Big 12? It just doesn't make sense. And I don't think the ACC is just going to let them leave. They're going to pay $400 million to go to the Big 12. No, it just doesn't register with me. I don't get it. I'm not sure why you would do it. I'm not. I don't pre-read anything of your comments. I don't care. You put them up there. I just don't. I make sure to pre-read so that because you're the same color as Numbnuts, and I don't want his stuff up there. What's up there? Fight on. When is OU up at media day? I think it's. I was looking for the time earlier. I know it's today, but let's see. OU. Let's see. Venables at podium. Let me make sure. I was looking on the SEC site, and I don't love it. I mean, they had the list of the kids that are there from every school, which I already knew who was there from Oklahoma, but what time? So Sankey goes on at 10:05. So he's probably on still right now. He was the first one. Let me see. Okay. Sankey followed by LSU, South Carolina. 145 to 445 is Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. So they're not. It's tomorrow, I guess. I was thinking it was today for some reason. I thought it was today. Apparently not. Huh. Tomorrow. What time tomorrow, Bishop Frank? Yeah. Yeah, that was yeah. I don't know that it's leverage against the SEC or the Big Ten. I think it's more or less Here's what I think. I think that if Clemson and Florida State were such a like need get right now, and because the thing is these both of their contracts just started for these new TV deals. They don't want to really bring them in the middle of this thing because like already right now the Oregon and Washington aren't getting a full share on the Big Ten. The SEC's not wanting to cut up any of the money with anybody else. I don't really see them doing it until they kind of have to. But if they were so sought after, they'd already have something going. They would, I mean, they would have back channeled it and told them, yeah, pay out and we'll bring you on. The only real target is Notre Dame. That's the only real target that's out there that both big conferences want. Because it's just the money that they bring. Yeah. Early release. Yeah, I paid for the early release and then freaking Norman chewed it up. I don't know, man. It just, to me, I feel like it's a lot of urgency. And even when we had Bomber on here the other day, he was kind of still saying the same thing. They are still in the middle of the lawsuit. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. But that's what Bomber was saying. He goes, I don't really see them giving up the lawsuit because the ACC is not going to settle. There's no reason for them to settle. They're not going to just give it up and say, yeah, go ahead without them paying, because there's nothing in that grant of rights that it's one thing that and this was something I saw on JJ's show. He had one of those attorneys on and he's an ACC guy. Everybody in his family went to an ACC school. It sounded like, but the guy was saying, look, all this stuff that they're talking about, the predatory practices or whatever in their contract, but they signed it and they've taken hundreds of millions of dollars from it already. So if it was so bad, it didn't get bad until you just don't like it that the landscape has changed and people are sign bad deals all the time. I don't really see an out here. And I just don't. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't do it. And there's a number, but they're not. If they really think that they're going to get out for the cheap, they're not. I can see they're going to leave at some point. But why would you pay $500 million freaking dollars? Because now you got to make up that to make your money. It just doesn't even make a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. Neilio, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. If he doesn't get it together with the NIL and transfer portal, if he doesn't, they're done. Seawalt was talking about that. He's a Clemson guy, and he's like, I don't get it. They're losing guys. Now they're starting to lose guys in recruiting too. Like they had that kid that was locked in for a while. I want to say he was a lineman too, and that's one of the places that they're struggling the most. And they didn't really even make a real effort at any of the offensive line guys that were in the portal at all. They lost guys to like, who did they say? It was like nothing schools. I literally don't remember who they were because they were just completely forgettable schools that they didn't even go and visit Clemson because of it. Look, that's okay. At the time that they did it, it wasn't. It was stability, quote unquote, and they make a lot of money off that ACC network, just like the SEC is about to. They're making a lot of money, and the thing is that they got it on the cheap. It's going to go up the longer over time, but like most of those schools are not really trying to leave. I don't even really think Miami wants to leave. You haven't seen them throw into the lawsuit. You haven't seen Carolina do it. You keep hearing that they might. I haven't seen it. What's up there, T? Thank you. How you doing? Yeah, it is. I mean, but nobody was making a bunch, and they're contracted as it is. Will it'll pay more than the Big 12's contract does the longer it goes on. But I don't know, man. Obviously the Big 12 gets to renegotiate later too. And I think that Yormark does a good job for the Big 12, but yeah, I don't really see that happening. I really don't see that happening. I think the best case scenario is a merger between the ACC and the Big 12. I think that's the only way that because then you could do it in like two you could, regionalize it, and then the winners of each side can play for the championship. Do it however you want, but you could cut back on a lot of the travel stuff that's going on. I think it would be a lot better for everybody. But that's just me. I don't believe that any of this stuff is like set in stone for sure. And I mean, TJ Pittenger's saying no, that it's not. It's not. So TJ's been on top of it more than anybody from the Florida State side. West Virginia played Texas, and we won the game on a 2-point convert. I remember that game. That was fun. Hey, again, that's not good, T. Why would it be messy? I mean, I don't agree. I think that a lot of those schools that are all out there in that same area, you can kind of keep it regional. They don't all have the same amount of money as Texas or OU even. And look at the SEC. They don't want to get out of their regional footprint. They're not trying to. They've been not trying to. ACC development will be stuck with 2/5 of the highest ranked conference champs. Getting auto bids, into the playoff being the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and the damn Sun Belt. No, I think that that's going away. I think the G5 stuff is going to go away, man. I don't know why they don't get their own playoff system. I mean, you're better off that way. You're better off that way. You're just going to get rolled. The money's good, but I think if you have something that's competitive and they could do it, that's where I think that the European soccer thing comes in. You know what I mean? It would be much better. Yeah. Well, and I mean TCU beat Michigan. Of course, Michigan definitely played garbage, but look at what that turned into. 1:30 Central. Okay. So 12:30 tomorrow. Cool. So yeah, and that's Bishop Frank. We were talking about the guys that he took. I think it was a clear indication of what they intend to lean on. Now you got to take Jackson because he's the leader of that offense. And I think at this point, most of the guys that were here, Stoops is gone, and that was really the last of the older guys. Most of these other kids are young, new guys. So he's definitely the leader, and you need him to take over. I think that was a good move, but I think it was a clear indication of what Oklahoma intends to win with when they get in the SEC. And it's going to lead with defense, and it's music to my ears, man. They'll always be good on offense. They just will. But, defense is where it's got to start. I don't see it. I don't really see them breaking up. Where the hell because if you think about the Big 12, they're talking about all these, Louisville's and Pitt and some of these bigger teams in the SEC. What happens to Syracuse? What happens to Wake Forest? What happens to NC State and Virginia? Virginia is like one of those teams that they're going after too, or that they act like they want to. But I've heard a bunch of people out of the Miami area, and none of them want to go play in the Big 10. I think they might move to – they don't really care anything about playing in the SEC, though, either. They're struggling in the ACC, so they don't need to make that move. But they don't want to go play in the cold, and I'm surprised that anybody in Tallahassee would be down for the Big 10 at all. But you can't just go to the Big 12 if you're either of those. If you're leaving the ACC because you don't make enough money, and then you're still not going to make enough money, that doesn't even make sense. Yeah. Yeah, I yeah. Well, they're not going to give up any of their. The Big Ten is going to stay the Big Ten if there's 50 teams in it. They don't care. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do feel like it's one of those deals where you got to look at it in terms of, look, a lot of these programs, you know, you're going to end up with a bunch of teams that now you're going to be able to have to add in, like SMU doesn't belong in the SEC necessarily, or the ACC. I mean, they just probably don't. But the Big 12 ain't letting them in for whatever reason. And they got all kinds of money, and the Big 12 didn't want to let them in. Now, that has a lot to do with TCU, I'm sure, and Baylor has a lot to do with that. You know, there's a lot of little games that get played with those Texas schools for sure. But I think that if you did a merger, at least that way, you know, if you could keep it how it is or whatever and have these guys playing in a division, that would help West Virginia a ton to have a Louisville, to be able to play Louisville and Pitt and, you know, North Carolina State and some of them in their side of a conference. You know, you could have, you know, divisions. It would just be better. Because if you're not going to generate the kind of income that the SEC and the Big Ten are, and you're not, then cut back on some of the expenses, and then it's better. And that's the hardest thing. How are you going to pay these guys if you got all these expenses and you're not getting that kind of money? It's everybody thinks that, you know, this playoff expansion stuff was, and, you know, I'm not a Josh Pate guy where I think that they shouldn't have expanded the playoffs. I don't mind the expanded playoffs. I don't know that we needed a 12, but when you start looking at this, the money has caused it to go here. But the people that thought that more access was going to mean it's more fair, shit, no, that's never been the goal. Never. It wasn't the goal of 50, 60 years ago. It's not going to be the goal 50, 60 years from now. It's never going to be the NFL. Parity is not their aim. Yeah. The Big 27 already. Yeah, they should. They really should. I don't mind, but we don't know how good these games are going to be, Jimmy. We don't know. They might have a bunch of damn blowouts. And I will give this to Josh Pate. If he's not wrong, some of these games that used to matter now all of a sudden don't. You're losing a lot of rivalries. And until, look, even the SEC's like, hey, if ESPN doesn't cough up more money, we're not going to go to a 9th conference game. They haven't made that decision yet. 150. Yeah. I think Bishop Frank said like 140, 130, something like that. Cool. I'll be ready. I'll find it at some point. As long as I knew it was tomorrow, but thanks, man. Appreciate it. I don't mind the expanded playoffs. I just don't know that it has to be that much, right? I don't think you have to extend it to 12 necessarily. And I don't think that, man, I don't know what we're getting out of having that G5 school. That in Oregon just rolled over Liberty last year. They hadn't lost a game and they got their ass beat down. And that's what's going to happen more times than not. It's just the truth is, the way things are going with all this money explosion, and that's all it is. But the rich are just getting richer, and there's going to be a bigger gap. And this is why Clemson and Florida State are screaming, is because they know they can't keep up with the other guys and being able to pay the players the way they want to. Because they got money at Florida State. Let's not get it twisted. But it's nothing like Notre Dame. It's nothing like Texas or Texas A&M. Nothing close to that. It's not Ohio State. Not only that, they've already got that money, and now they're going to be getting $40 million more per year than you. That's not going to last very long. It's just tough. I knew that was coming. I knew if you were still here, I was going to hear that the regular season should matter. And that's the thing. The regular season is mattering less the more you expand the playoffs. Think about it in the end. What do you I mean, I guess it's cool because you'll get sometimes how many times have you seen a wild card team win in the Super Bowl? They do it. It happens. It happens. But they get in with like a 9-8 record and somehow figure it out. It's wild. But that's the thing is you have to look at it. It waters it. It's going to water down that competition like that. It'll never get to that though, by the way. It's never going to be the NFL. No, they don't. They do not. Timothy Green. What are you up to there, Shotty? You working today? All right. Let's see what else. So I was gonna see what else we were up there. I need to check. I hope everybody has hit the like button. I'm about to check it. So what we got here? We've had 450 views and we've got 40 likes. 10%. Come on. Thinking hyping up the UT versus UTA game. Yeah. UGA game. Yeah. I can see that. Mm-hmm. You're doing what? Watching a dating show. Oh, Lord. Hey, man, I've been single for a while. I feel you. But what does that do for you? I mean, is it a show for you to get dates or what? Back in them streets. Shut up. Hey man, it's been a good morning there, Benjamin Cisco. Thank you. Hope everybody's good with you. You want to jump in for a second there, Shotty? I can throw you a link. Or are you going to be watching your show here in a minute? There you go. All right. So your boy's single back in the streets. It was downtown Houston yesterday. Good time to be single. Is it? What? Wait, it's good for. Why is it good to be single in Houston? There's a bunch of hot chicks down there, right? It's hot right now in Houston too. So maybe they just weren't wearing clothes. Is that what you were getting at? Shotty's life ain't complicated. He chills. He does what he wants. Okay. No worries. Cool. I feel you. That's funny. So let's see. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to do. All right. Yeah. So I hadn't been not really loving these prognostications have been driving me crazy. That SEC Unfiltered dropped it. They had Oklahoma finish in 11th. 11th. And then even that SEC podcast, everybody was loving on old SEC Mike after he came down for the July 1st thing, and he had him 8th with Texas in front of him and Texas A&M in front of him too. I don't love it. Yeah, little Woodrose. That little Woodrose. Oh. Hey, man, be glad you're married. I know this chick in Houston that we dated for a long time. She's awesome, but no, we haven't been talking lately much. Just say Alabama Media Day because that's all they're talking about. Yeah. Hey, man, right now they're killing it. I mean, you know, all the big questions that everybody was having about if they were going to be able to recruit in the South because of where not being from there or not really having, man, they're either one or two, depending on which site you're looking at. They're killing it in recruiting. They got a bunch of 5 stars. They've got 10 guys in the top 100. And how are they doing it? They're building relationships. They got money. They got the NIL thing going for sure. But these guys are building relationships and selling these kids on what they're trying to do. And they win. I mean, the guys freaking coach. I don't care what level you were coaching at. It's commensurate with if you're winning national championships at the, you know, FCS level or whatever it is, Division II even, it doesn't matter. Because you have that level of kid, the same level of kid as everybody else has at that level. And so it's how you can coach. The guys lost 12 freaking games out of 117. He's the real deal, man. If you're Alabama, if you're one of those people that just thinks Alabama is going to just fall off the map because Saban left, somebody said something the other day, and I don't know that I'm ready to go here yet, but that maybe that Saban was holding them back at this point. You always everybody loses their touch at some point. We saw it happen with Stoops. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't surprise me there, Collins. Yeah. They're fighting. Who's fighting for clicks? Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense. Who's up there at the panel right now? Yeah. So the ESPN guys, yeah, freaking Saban working with them now. Is he there right now on the panel? See, I'm missing all this stuff. Yeah. Listen, man, everybody's got to start somewhere, you know? Everybody's got to start somewhere. And Kalen DeBoer started at high schools and he was killing it there. It happens, you know? That's where Hugh Freeze started. I mean, a lot of these guys don't start off wasn't Gus Malzahn like a freaking all-time great high school coach in Arkansas too? He was. He won like a bunch of state championships or something. And then he became a coordinator, I want to say at Arkansas, right? Maybe it wasn't just Arkansas, but anyway. Look, I mean, I'm not crowning them. I'm just saying I am not gonna freaking predict their demise right now. I think that this is the best time you could get them if you're OU. You get them at home. You know, they're still getting, you know, rounding into form or, you know, figuring it out because there's going to be changes. I mean, and there's got to be some kind of growing pains that come with it. But look, man, they were 4-8 at Washington when he got there. 4-8. He went 25-3 in 2 years. He beat Texas twice, Benji. Yeah. 5 or 6 state championships, yeah. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, Neilio, I figured you would have that one down. Neilio's like even more encyclopedic about that stuff than me. All right. So I don't know. I definitely over the next couple of days, I'll probably do it. Maybe on Wednesday, I'll drop them. But we need to come up with in fact, so for all of you, this is what we can do. Everybody that's a member, channel member, you're going to be in our Discord, right? Drop your top 16, what you think, how you think they're going to finish in the SEC this year. How do you think it's going to finish? We've got some guys that are not Oklahoma fans, so we'll get some good votes there. And be for real for you OU fans, be for real. Where do you think they're going to finish? I mean, if you really think they're going to win it all, go ahead. But show me their order of finish in there, and then I'll drop it. I'll put a graphic together, and I'll drop it on. I'll probably put it out to some other people too, but we'll drop it on Wednesday if y'all do that. Yeah, that was his first. He was the coordinator there. And how do you go from a high school coach to a coordinator? Even Joey McGuire was a great high school coach in Texas, man. He won, I think, 3 state championships at 6A in Texas. And he was, of course, the president of the High School Coaches Association, which made him kind of like the Pope. Here we go. Mustang Springdale years went down to Arkansas to take on Malzahn's boys and got pummeled. And those Rockhurst high school teams had multiple Sooners on them. Yeah, they did. I remember that. Who did? The guys on the panel right now have Oklahoma at the 6th spot. That's better than some of these other guys have it. Who do they have in front? So they got Missouri and Ole Miss in front of them, I'm guessing. Mizzou. Shit. Thank you. Free and easy. Thank you, Timothy. You are the man. Yep. Help us out with those likes. I don't ask for much else. Just make sure you do that. If you would like to help the channel in other ways, you can always, hey, if you hadn't noticed that new hat that I have up there on the above part, you should move in on it. You should be on the merch page anyway, but you've got the new Texas Fears Oklahoma hat there in the middle, right under Coach saying he don't give a shit. So get in there and check that out. Again, we got a few days left of these Horns Down hats, and we're going to drop them. But that one is going to stay for sure. We'll have a couple more. I'm going to actually I'm going to put that same design on some of the other hats. If you're not one of the flat bill, if you like the trucker hats like I do, whatever, it'll be on one of those here shortly. As soon as we're done with the stream, I was trying to get that done earlier, but I was still trying to put together a bunch of stuff. But yeah, man, I think that, look, I think if you were in that 4th or 5th place, if you were 9-3, you're probably going to be anywhere from 4th to 5th in the conference, because you could end up with a couple of 9-3 teams. If Oklahoma can get to 9-3, more than likely they'll get to the playoff because of the fact that of that schedule. You know, they think so highly of this schedule. And I mean, look, they've got a tough road ahead. They got to go on the road to Auburn. Even if Auburn is bad, I mean, they almost beat Georgia and Bama last year, right? And then you turn around and you start thinking about, you go on the road to LSU as well. You go on the road to Ole Miss. Missouri, it'll be colder than crap. But, I mean, they've earned their ass whipping. That's coming. My thing is that, yeah. It's wild, isn't it, Hankster? It's wild. But yeah, you guys should definitely get on there. Check out the pod merch. Tell you what, I will I'm trying to come up with something. We're gonna do a giveaway. If we can get, I'll tell you what. We want to get to 4,000 subs before the season starts. We've got 46 days before week 1 starts. So if we can get to that, I'll give away multiple items if we get there before. So share the stream with your friends, people that you know that like to watch college football. We talk a lot of trash in here and we enjoy it. I was trying to get the stash in here today too, but we'll do for sure this week we'll do another call-in show. I'm trying to actually get it set up where you can call and you don't have to. But you can use the StreamYard and not your face or anything like that, just like we've seen it in the past. But I need to get more people calling in. Neilio needs to call in. All you guys could call in, man. A lot of, Jamie, Neilio, Hankster, you used to call in. What's happened to you lately? You haven't done it in a while. They put Tennessee and Mizzou above Ole Miss. Wow. They don't. Who really? That's that Saban being pissed at Lane all the time. That's awesome. That is freaking awesome. So if I get all you members, give me a list of your top finishers, where you think they're going to finish in the Discord. Every member, if I can get, at least if I can get it from, let's say, 80% of our members, if we get a list from them and I can post it on Wednesday, then I'll give away a competitive depth shirt. Cool. Georgia, Texas, Missouri, OU in that order. Yeah, I just have a hard time understanding Mizzou. I just don't get it. They lost the running back was the reason that listen, I like Luther Burden as much as the next guy. But without that kid going for what? Didn't he have like 1,400 or 1,500 yards last year? Without him, what are they? And no thicker kicker anymore? Plus, they lost a lot of those guys off of that defense. And their coordinator and what is it, the D-line coach? There's no way they're going to be that damn good. Why does everybody believe in Drink? I don't get it. Yeah, for sure. You're right. Philip McDaniel, thank you for coming into the show. I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they lost them. They've lost. Look, I just don't get it. I don't see it. Let's just say that. Oh, okay, so maybe they have a good running back that came. Maybe they've got a decent running back. Is he going to get what the other kid got? No way. He was a stud. And I don't know that I believe in Cook so much. They believe in the easiest cupcake. That I get. This I get, Stephen G. You're not wrong. You out of here, Stink? Stink, yes, Cat. Appreciate you coming in. I'm fixing to jump off too, man. I got to get out of here. Got some stuff I got to get done today. But yeah, we'll definitely be back in here tomorrow, and we'll be talking. We'll have a lot more to talk about with SEC Media Days going on, and I'm sure there'll be there's always lots of trash talking. This is what SEC Media Days is awesome. Lots of trash talking. Maybe I'm not sure exactly what Jay has going. I know he's there and they're going to be doing stuff for Locked On, but I may have him jump on. Maybe we'll do a later stream or something tonight. I'm going to get a hold of him and see what he's got going, and maybe we can catch him, or maybe he can come on in the morning. I'll do it again in the morning or something. We'll see what he can do over the next couple of days. Obviously with BV and those guys being there tomorrow, I'm sure he'll have some more stuff, than normal. But yeah, good for him. I'm glad he got to go, man. That's good stuff. I know they have a couple of options, but I mean, and they do run the ball pretty well. I think their offensive coordinator is a decent coordinator. But yeah. Hey man, appreciate you coming in. Horns down.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
See you later, brother. All right. Yeah, guys, jump onto our official pod merch store. Hey, also, if you want to get in there and get some of that SEC gear from our, and I haven't pulled it up there, but we do have the Fanatics partner link as well. You can get big discounts just by using our link. It works out. I mean, we get a small percentage off of that, but it is really good. Sometimes you'll get free shipping, which always helps. But a lot of it could be 65% off sometimes. It just depends on the day. But if you use our link, it's hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. So if you want to jump in there, get Jordan gear, they've got some of that new SEC stuff as well. Use the discount. It's a good deal. Let's see. Have a great day. Eddie, man, thank you for coming in. I'm glad you became a member as well. Thanks, everybody. Shout out to Bishop Frank, as always, for, dealing out those. And Neilio, Neilio, you haven't even been in the Discord, have you? You need to get in there. Rob, what up? Yeah, Rob's, you're not wrong. Based off the last 10 years of production. Yeah, that's true. hofmedia.us/fanatics. You guys can, and that includes you, Rob. Look, man, if you're looking to get some Mizzou gear, you can get a good deal on it by using the link I'm dropping in there right now. Just get in there and check it out. They'll a lot of times you get free shipping. You'll definitely get a better deal than if you just use Fanatics on your own. So use the link. It works out good for everybody. I meant to tell people about that as well. Looking at a couple of other ones too. Oklahoma, 7 spot. We'll see, man. They're not prognosticate. I was thinking about last year in the Big 12 when they picked West Virginia, and Timothy will love this. They picked them to finish dead last, and they were nowhere near there. Nowhere near there. So we'll see. You just never know. Error on the link. Maybe you have to hit the HTTPS. Let me check it again. /fanatics. I'll check it again. If it's not working, I just used it yesterday. It should be working. Long way to go to the playoffs. A lot of football to be played. Talking season's almost over, though, folks. You're going to be able to get it on the field and see what happens. You know what I mean? It was definitely working for me. Let me check that real quick before we go. I went straight to it for me, man. If you go to hofmedia.us, okay, it worked. Okay, it's probably just because of the HTTPS. Get in there and check it out. And there's actually another couple of them that I can sign up for. As far as those, Fanatics is kind of hit and miss sometimes. They usually have really good deals on stuff though. But there's a couple of other brands out there, and I've been looking at I'm trying to remember the names of them. But I can go through my Spotify collabs stuff and look at some of that as well. So. Yeah, like I said, I'll keep on. It's the member page. Go to the member page, and that link's right on there, Lemon. Or Chicken. Oh, did I? Yeah, I probably did. My bad. Virtual season talks. Hey, man, I'm gonna go. You said offer up, right? Isn't that what Mars said? Offer up. Yes. Hit the like button and share, man. I appreciate it, guys. Make sure that you share us with your friends, man. Like I said, if we can get to 4,000, I'll give away multiple items out of the show merch. We'll do some different stuff like that. Maybe we'll do a ticket giveaway or something. So the more we get, the better. It always helps out, man. Just watching the show, we appreciate it. Hitting that like button is a free and easy way to help the program. We have to find our way to kind of make make this worth our while to continue putting this content out day after day. But it's doing well. I've been excited about it. The channel's growing all the time. We get more people on here. I love having you guys in here, and I appreciate you so much. I can't even tell you. It's such a big deal. Such a big deal to me. Chicken, I will I'll shoot you a text in a little bit if you don't find it. But go on to the member page, and it should be right there, so you can get in. All right. Yeah, but make sure you go in there and drop just a list of your top 16. Rank them how you think they're going to finish. All you members. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for jumping in here. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Hey, you know what? Yeah, let me I'll figure out something with there. Yeah, we'll do something. We'll even put something in the pod merch, but yeah, I can get something from Fanatics for you if you're the winner. Absolutely, I would do that. Thank you, Bishop Frank, man. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, Chicken. Thank you, Neilio. Love all you guys, man. Thanks a lot for coming in. We'll see you on the next one.